Alright, as always, you can go to YouTube channel My Medical Nightmare and see 40 plus hours video on everything that happened to. Alright, 6 months have passed since University of Alabama at Birmingham UAB reportedly closed a $450 million US deal to acquire 5 Birmingham, Alabama area hospitals from healthcare provider Ascension. St. Vincent's and Ascension, during their tenure and partnership, used many criminally corrupt and ethically bankrupt partners, doctors, and medical personnel. So 6 months on, I thought I would take a look at some of the parties which are still extant and doing business with the new UAB St. Vincent's entity. You may be surprised at who is out there thriving, that UAB continues to empower and send massive amounts of business and monetary rewards to. Maybe you will not be very surprised. Alright, September 2025 updates on negligent community health clinic Christ Health Center. The first issue, and this basically underlines everything else that you're going to hear and see in this video. In a recorded telephone conversation with Christ Health attorney Deborah Pickens, August 2023, she made an obligation that my issues would go before their board and the results of their discussion on what happened to me would be outlined in a postal mail letter that would arrive at my mailbox. 2 years later, as of August 2025, I never received this letter, and this says a lot about the word of Deborah Pickens. I'm not exactly an expert at all the buzzwords applied to these scams. Upcoding and phantom billing. These are two common healthcare scams that I was apparently a party to as a patient and customer, and this involved Birmingham, Alabama area community health clinic, the Christ Health Center. They were affiliated with Ascension St. Vincent's Hospital, recently rebranded UAB St. Vincent's. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI website describes these scams on its healthcare fraud page. Phantom billing, billing for a service visit or supplies that the patient never received. And upcoding, billing for a more expensive service than the patient actually received. The U.S. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services rate both of these scams on the upper level of their scale. Very serious. I attempted to contact Christ Health CEO Dr. Robert Record several times over the last 5 years. Finally got him on the telephone in 2023, and I put these claims to him. I'll include our exchange in this video, and you can hear in other videos on my channel where he told me he was going to refer me to someone in their organization that was going to help me. He did not disclose the fact, and I only found out later that this person, Deborah Pickens, was an attorney, and she told me that they were going to do nothing about correcting this stuff and that I needed to seek legal representation myself. Also took my issues to the state of Alabama Board of Medical Examiners and Medical Licensure Commission in the form of complaints. I filed a complaint against both Dr. Terry Daniel Smith, MD, and nurse practitioner Anna Musgraves. The state of Alabama would not do anything to help me with these, despite the fact that the documentation that I supplied with these was rock solid. You can see it here in the video. It's their own paperwork, the bills, and the doctors and nurses' own notes. These are part of my medical records. Interestingly, in a post dated March 26th of this year, UAB basically reaffirmed its relationship with Christ Health Center in a post, and it reads, "Family and Community Medicine welcomes new residents to programs across Central Alabama. For thousands of medical students across the country, 4 years of hard work culminated into 2 words, you matched, as these aspiring physicians discovered where they will continue their journey in medicine. Our faculty and staff pour their time into teaching, mentoring, and supporting St students as they gain clinical expertise, learn about research, volunteer their time at community clinics, and explore what it means to be a family physician. This dedication to cultivating the next generation of primary care physicians is truly appreciated and makes a huge impact in the health care of our state. The Department of Family and Community Medicine will be welcoming 33 future residents, including 8 UAB St School of Medicine students who matched the Cahaba UAB Family Medicine Residency, UAB Selma Family Medicine Residency, and newly branded UAB St. Vincent's East Family Medicine Residency programs. The UAB St. Vincent's East Family Medicine program at Christ Health Center is delighted to welcome 8 new talented and aspiring family physicians into our residency family. Christ Health Center continued its expansion throughout the summer, and in June, their new pediatric clinic opened near the YMCA in Roebuck. And the address of this is Northeast Youth Center, 628 Red Lane Road, Birmingham, Alabama, 35215. And there they offer pediatric care for children living in low to moderate income households, health and wellness education, and access to diagnostic equipment, dental care, and pharmacy. Also, there's some new patient and customer reviews out on Christ Health, including 2 that mention they were hung up on when calling Christ Health regarding customer service issues. And that's noteworthy because I also was hung up on while attempting to communicate with Christ Health Center. In my case, I was sitting at a diagnostic MRI facility. This was American Health Imaging in downtown Birmingham. Now this place wanted $500 cash for the scan, and they needed a doctor or nurse's referral. Having visited with nurse practitioner Anna Musgraves just days prior to this, she verbally gave me a guarantee that when I had secured the MRI, that she would have no problem giving her referral. So I paid my $500, and I had AHI call the Woodlawn Christ Health location. AHI told me later that they were put on hold for 15 minutes by the Woodlawn Clinic before being hung up on. Attempts to establish a line with the Woodlawn Clinic and Anna Musgraves were not successful. So I was not given that referral. And this is very significant when you take a look at the big picture regarding my own health issues at this time. Alright, so again, be advised and make sure you don't fall into this trap like I did. These reviews are easy to access on Google. Here's one for the Woodlawn Clinic. This patient relates, unknowledgeable, rude, unwilling to hear the patient out, and after the patient explains the issue 4 times, she hangs up while the patient is talking. At the Christ Health location in Chalkville, Alabama, a patient writes in a July review, the first visit my son attended was extremely crowded. Yeah, that was my experience as well. Continuing, the doctors were very polite and prayed over my son, but the staff scheduling, etc. are very rude. A young girl, not lady, who works in scheduling was very rude. On June 30th, 2025, I called to ask a specific question. Instead of answering my question, she requested I pay a bill. She then hung up the phone in my face. This is such an unprofessional and rude front office and scheduling department. I don't recommend you visit this facility. Yeah, that backs up my experience also. My own advice is do not go to Christ Health Center for your medical treatment. Don't take your children to the pediatric clinic. Just avoid this place. If you do find yourself dealing with Christ Health, always ask for a first and last name. But what I've encountered in the Birmingham, Alabama area is the receptionist, the staff, etc. in many medical clinics, they now will not give patients and customers a real name. They'll give you a nickname, a pseudonym, or a fake name. Any interaction with medical professionals regarding your own personal health care, they need to be recorded. We're talking about video, audio. I'm speaking to Robert Record, CEO and State of Alabama licensed medical doctor for Christ Health Center. Is that correct?
Sir, yeah, this is Robert Record. How can I help you? It sounds like you're upset. I would love to be of great help to you. I know we saw you 4 years ago. What can I do for you? It's been 4 years.
Oh yeah, it's been 4 years. I've been trying to get that issue resolved for 4 years actually. I saw Dr. Terry Daniel Smith, MD, and he was at the Chalkville, Old Springville Road Christ Health Center. My issue with my Christ Health visit 2019, I believe I received no measurable level of service in my visit, and I had 2 visits. Okay, the one with the doctor Terry Daniel Smith, and that visit was $109. I had a visit with nurse NP Anna Musgraves, $107. Why was I charged $107 for a visit with the NP and $109 for the visit with the MD? Because there's quite a gulf of experience and.
So you don't understand why you would charge the same bill for an NP as an MD? Okay.
Yeah. So why?
Because the medical codes are the same, and and the medical price is the same on either one.
I think that I should have been charged less for the visit with the MP than the MD.
Honor your thought on that, sir.
Yeah, and I mean, I can go down to the Woodlawn Clinic today and take video. The people that go to your clinic there in Woodlawn, they don't have $100 to pay to see an MP. You obviously don't know the market prices, the going rate to see an MP is what I think.
Well, you're welcome to accuse me and use language like that. That's your right. Now,
I can back it up with facts because I've seen other MPs. I can share what the market rate is in this area, Birmingham, Alabama, sir.
You're welcome to say that, sir. You're welcome to say that. Our fees are set with the federal government, approved by our board, and then reviewed every year by our board. And we charge on a sliding scale based on people bringing in documentation of their income, and then we reduce those fees based on that. And so I know what we collect on average on an uninsured patient, and it's all based on their salaries, sir. Done with the federal sliding scale, which is approved annually by the federal government. So.
Yeah, again, I would like a better answer as to why I was charged $100 to see a nurse and a medical doctor, because there's a gulf of discipline there. Okay, a nurse is not a doctor, and you shouldn't be charged.
She's not a nurse; she's a nurse practitioner. So she's a certified registered nurse practitioner. And the charges are the same in both, which is pretty much standard practice across the industry.
We got outstanding issues, unresolved and unaddressed from that Terry Daniel Smith MD visit. Okay, from that visit, he charged me for a hemoglobin blood test and an electrocardiogram that I did not receive. And when you charge patients for services that are not rendered or provided, that's a big no-no. And that is a problem. That was refunded to me because I went into the Old Springville Road location and complained about it. So that was refunded to me. But still, it's unacceptable that you got doctors that's unprofessional.
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
My rundown of issues with Christ Health Center, Birmingham, Alabama. I believe I received no measurable level of service in my visit. I was charged the same amount of money, $110, to see the doctor and MD as the nurse, a nurse practitioner. Other medical practices around Birmingham, I paid roughly half of that price. Christ Health is partners with Ascension St. Vincent's Hospital, and it looks like either Christ Health decided to ignore my injury or were ordered to ignore my injury. And I believe this is to protect the reputations and million-dollar salaries of the, quote, professionals, unquote, involved. I also believe it may have been patient dumped, and that's a violation of EMTALA, EMTALA, in the course of my seeking treatment. I was a self-pay patient. I had no insurance, and I could provide no stated source of income. Dr. Terry Daniel Smith, MD, outright refused to grant me a referral for an MRI. Just a few days later, I got that MRI. I had to pay cash out of pocket, and broken bone surrounded by infection shows up in that scan. Broken bone also shows up in the CT scan. He claims in his notes in my medical chart to have reviewed in detail. I was billed $50 for a hemoglobin blood test and electrocardiogram I never received. And yeah, I think taking money from people who don't have anything, such as myself, is obscene. Nurse Musgraves wrote in her report that she suspected psych etiology to explain my symptomology, and this is absolutely wrong. Broken skull bone is visible in the MRI, CT, and X-ray that I've had done. Nurse practitioner Anna Musgraves agreed to give a referral when I secured my MRI. So I had to go out and find another medical practice with the equipment who could do the scan. I was given 3 avenues of financial assistance to pursue, and all 3 of these led to dead ends. I did not qualify. This is for Ascension Access to Care, Cooper Green Hospital, and UAB Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama. After I paid $500 cash out of pocket for an MRI at American Health Imaging in downtown Birmingham on the south side, the diagnostic center staff told me that they needed a medical referral. I informed them to call Christ Health Center in Woodlawn. They were put on hold 15 minutes, and then someone, we don't know who, at Christ Health Center hung up the telephone. They backed out on giving that referral. I believe somebody didn't want me to get this MRI scan because it would show the truth of an injury that I was told I did not have. A medical doctor I had no interaction with also strangely edited and signed off on my records and chart days following that visit. This was shortly after I lodged my first official complaint for lack of service from Christ Health. This doctor was Beverly Vanderpool. I put all my records from this visit in several hours worth of video on YouTube channel My Medical Nightmare. You can go there and see my side of this story. Deborah Pickens also tells me that a letter with a statement was going to be put in the mail to me after that August 2023 meeting. And what I can say is I have not yet received this promised letter. 1 year later, they know my address too because they sent me those bills for those medical services that weren't performed on me. So people out there looking at healthcare options in the Birmingham, Alabama area, please take my experience to heart, and I would advise that you look elsewhere when seeking medical treatment from a doctor or a nurse.